The world of Southern gospel music was deeply shaken when Gloria Gaither, beloved wife of Bill Gaither, shared heartbreaking news about her health. Fans who have admired the Gaithers for decades were left stunned and emotional. Gloria has always been seen as calm, joyful, and full of spiritual strength, so hearing her speak openly and tearfully about her private struggles felt shocking. Her voice carried a pain that words alone couldn't describe. For many, this wasn't just another celebrity update. It was a deeply personal moment from someone who had helped lead people in worship and hope through music. The news quickly spread through churches, concert halls, and online groups where the Gaither name is cherished. What made this so emotional wasn't just the illness, it was realizing that someone who had helped so many people smile and sing through hard times had been silently hurting for a long time. It reminded everyone that even the strongest people can face great battles. Fans were heartbroken not only because Gloria was sick, but also because she had been hiding her pain to avoid worrying others. This act of love, though selfless, made people realize how much she had carried on her own. And now, she was finally opening up, not to gain sympathy, but to be real and, maybe to let others know they weren't alone in their struggles either. For years, Gloria Gaither had kept her health challenges private. She continued attending public events, performing in concerts, and smiling for fans, even when she was feeling unwell. It wasn't until recently that she opened up about the pain and fatigue she had been living with. Gloria spoke honestly about her condition, saying she had been dealing with symptoms that affected her ability to travel, perform, and enjoy daily life. Behind her public appearances was a woman who had been pushing through physical pain and emotional exhaustion. She didn't want people to worry, so she kept smiling and moving forward. But now, the weight had become too heavy to carry alone. Her confession moved fans deeply. It wasn't just about illness, it was about the emotional toll of hiding the truth. Gloria said that pretending to be fine, when she wasn't, took more strength than she ever imagined. Fans reacted with love, kindness, and prayer. Many said they felt both sadness and admiration: sadness for what she had suffered, and admiration for how strong she had been in silence. Her story became a reminder that behind the scenes, even our heroes have hard days. And sometimes, being open about pain is the bravest thing someone can do. Her words gave people permission to be honest about their own struggles, and to trust that faith doesn't mean you always feel okay, it means you keep believing, even when it's hard. While Gloria was finally sharing her story, many fans began thinking about Bill Gaither too. Bill, known for his kind heart and uplifting songs, has always been the steady support behind their shared ministry. But watching his wife suffer has brought him a deep sadness that he rarely shows in public. Friends close to the Gaithers have said that Bill has moments of quiet heartbreak, where the weight of everything becomes too much. For a man who has spent his life lifting others up through music and encouragement, feeling helpless in the face of his wife's pain is especially hard. Bill has continued to show up with strength for fans and family, but it's clear that this season has taken a toll on him. His love for Gloria has always been strong, but now it's being tested in ways that go beyond words. Despite the sorrow, their bond has grown even deeper. They continue to face each day together, hand in hand, trusting God through the storm. The couple's love story has long been admired by fans across the world, and now people are seeing a new chapter, one marked not by music tours and albums, but by late nights, hospital visits, and quiet prayers. Bill's silent pain is a reflection of a deep love that doesn't need to be shouted from the stage. It's shown through every gentle touch, every sleepless night, and every prayer whispered in the dark. One of the hardest parts for the Gaithers has been learning how to deal with grief and illness under the spotlight. For decades, they have brought joy and hope to millions, but fame comes with a cost. When someone as well known as Gloria becomes ill, people naturally want to know more. Rumors begin, fans worry, and the couple is faced with the difficult choice of how much to share. Gloria and Bill have always valued their privacy. They never sought attention for themselves, they simply wanted to serve God through music. But as Gloria's health declined, and fans began asking questions, they knew it was time to be honest. Speaking publicly was not easy, but it allowed them to tell their story in their own words. They wanted people to know the truth, but they also asked for understanding and space. Living in the public eye means losing the ability to suffer quietly. Every cancellation, every missed event becomes news. Yet, even in this painful season, the Gaithers have handled everything with grace and humility. Their honesty has not only earned admiration, but has also encouraged others to speak about their own struggles. It's a reminder that behind every famous face is a real person with real fears, real pain, and real faith trying to hold it all together. As Gloria's health became more serious, the Gaither organization had to make some heartbreaking decisions. Several concerts and events were canceled or postponed. For many fans, this news hit hard. Some had waited for years to see Bill and Gloria perform live, hoping to experience the powerful worship moments they had seen on TV or heard in recordings. The Gaither concerts were never just entertainment. For many, they were life-changing spiritual experiences. People brought their families, sang along with tears in their eyes, and felt a deep connection to God. Knowing that Gloria's illness was the reason behind the cancellations made the disappointment even deeper. These weren't just events, they were memories people had been longing to create. The reality started sinking in. An era was quietly coming to a close. Gloria and Bill are now focusing more on digital ministry and writing, which still blesses many, but the live homecoming experience with its warm hugs, handshakes, and spontaneous praise cannot be replaced. For Gloria, stepping back from the road isn't just about resting. It's about letting go of a part of her soul's calling, a part she gave her life to. And for Bill, it means supporting his wife through this transition, while also grieving the end of a chapter filled with music, worship, and deep purpose. Inside the Gaithers' home in Indiana, life has become slower and more delicate. Gone are the days filled with rehearsals, travel plans, and bustling guests. Nowadays revolve around doctor appointments, treatments, and quiet moments of prayer. Friends who visit say the house is filled with love, but also with a stillness that feels heavy at times. Every movement is careful. Every plan is made with Gloria's health in mind. Bill has taken on the role of caregiver, showing incredible devotion and tenderness. Yet, it hasn't been easy. The emotional toll of watching a loved one suffer is immense. Their home, once filled with laughter and music, is now a place of quiet endurance. Even small joys like gardening or going for short walks are limited. But despite the challenges, their love continues to shine. It's in the little things, the way Bill holds Gloria's hand, the way she smiles when he reads her letters from fans, the prayers they whisper before bed. These quiet acts speak louder than any song ever could. They are living their message now more than ever: faith in hard times, love without limits, and hope even when the days are dark. When Gloria's condition became public, the faith community responded with overwhelming love. Churches started prayer chains. Fans flooded their website and social media pages with messages of support. People shared how the Gaithers' music had touched their lives in difficult moments, at funerals, during illness, or just in times of deep loneliness. Even pastors and worship leaders reached out to express gratitude. These messages became a source of strength for Bill and Gloria. During a time that could have felt lonely and heavy, they were reminded that they were not alone. Every card, every prayer, every kind word was a reminder of how many lives they had impacted. The outpouring of support showed that the Gaithers had not just created music, they had built a family of faith around the world. And now, that family was returning the favor, lifting them up in prayer and love. For a couple who had spent their lives giving, it was finally their time to receive. And the body of Christ showed up in beautiful, powerful ways. Even in her suffering, Gloria Gaither has continued to encourage others. In a recent heartfelt message posted on the Gaither Music website, she spoke about the power of trusting God, even in the darkest times. She shared openly about feeling unheard in prayer, about wrestling with questions of purpose, and about how hard this season has been. But she also wrote about small blessings, like the kindness of strangers, the support of her family, and moments of quiet reflection that brought her closer to God. Her message wasn't one of easy answers, but of honest faith. She reminded readers that sorrow is part of life, but so is God's presence. Her ability to find hope in pain has created a new kind of ministry, one not built on stages or microphones, but on truth, vulnerability, and courage. Fans who read her words said they felt comforted and seen. Some even said it helped them find meaning in their own struggles. Gloria's strength now lies not in singing to crowds, but in sharing her heart, and in doing so, she continues to shine a light that leads others closer to faith. Perhaps a goodbye for millions, it will be a moment to honor a woman who helped shape their spiritual lives in one of the most moving developments. Gloria Gaither reportedly wrote a final letter to her fans, one full of gratitude, grace, and unwavering faith. Though it hasn't been released yet, those who've seen early drafts describe it as a mix of farewell and personal testimony. Gloria thanks her fans for letting her music be part of their lives. She encourages them to stay strong in faith and offers words of comfort to those facing their own challenges. Rather than focusing on her suffering, she turns her attention to God's glory and the hope that reaches beyond this life. There's no trace of bitterness, only peace. The letter by Alakans feels less like a goodbye and more like a loving handoff. When it's released, it will undoubtedly touch countless hearts as public concern and media attention grew. The Gaither family earliest an emotional request for prophecy, though grateful for the of love and support. They are walking through a deeply personal chapter, one full of fragile moments, emotional decisions, and sacred space that can't be shared with the world. Bill, along with their children and grandchildren, asked for understanding. Every detail can or should be shared. They are not turning away from their supporters, but they are asking for room to grieve, hope, and heal privately. The Christian community in large part has respected that request. Most sacred moments for Bill and Gloria. This moment is about treasuring every precious day left, holding tight memories, and finding strength and quiet comfort that faith offers, especially when words fall short. A heartfelt response from longtime friends and collaborators as news of Gloria's condition spread. Many in the Christian music world began planning a special tribute concert. Though no date has been announced, it's expected to feature some of the most well-known names in gospel music artists, who were inspired by the Gaithers, mentored by them, or shared the stage over the years. The event will be more than will be a worship celebration, a thank you, and a farewell. Songs like Because He Lives and He Touched Me will likely be at the heart of the evening, reminding everyone of the legacy the Gaithers created. Bill is said to be moved by the idea, though it brings mixed emotions. For him, it's not just about music, it's about a lifetime of memories with the woman he calls the greatest gift of his life. In one emotional video, Bill said, "Whatever happens, I know God gave me the greatest gift of my life when He gave me Gloria." That simple statement captured what words can't fully express: a love story built on faith, music, and enduring devotion. No matter what the future holds, Bill and Gloria Gaither's legacy is already secure, not only in the history of Christian music, but in the hearts of millions who found hope through their songs and their story. From the very beginning, Bill and Gloria Gaither didn't set out to become celebrities. They simply wanted to share their love for God and use music as a tool to uplift others. What started as a small faith-driven music ministry soon grew into a global movement. Through the Gaither vocal band and their famous homecoming concerts, they touched millions of lives around the world. People from all backgrounds, ages, and cultures came together in stadiums, churches, and living rooms to worship, cry, laugh, and rejoice together. Their songs weren't just popular, they were personal. Classics like Because He Lives, The King is Coming, and Something About That Name became part of people's lives. These weren't just tunes for Sunday mornings. They were the soundtracks to weddings, funerals, baptisms, and moments of quiet prayer. Through the ups and downs of life, Gaither music helped people feel connected to God and to one another. Even as the Christian music world changed, the Gaithers remained true to their roots. They didn't chase trends or fame. They stayed grounded in scripture, family, and love. And that's why people love them, not just for the music, but for their sincerity. In a world full of noise, their message stood out. Jesus is real, His love is steady, and we are never alone, no matter what we're facing. While Bill was often seen front and center on stage, Gloria's presence was equally powerful, just more quiet and reflective. Gloria wasn't just a singer. She was a poet, a teacher, and a spiritual guide. Her lyrics held deep meaning, and her words in interviews, books, and devotionals always offered wisdom beyond the moment. Many people, especially women in the faith community, saw her as a role model. She spoke honestly about motherhood, marriage, calling, and the challenges of balancing public ministry with private life. Even now, as she battles illness, her strength continues to shine. She writes with even more honesty, often describing the aches of aging, the mystery of unanswered prayers, and the beauty of trusting God anyway. People say that Gloria's ministry wasn't just from a stage, it was from the heart. Her insights helped shape generations of believers, especially those learning to hold faith and pain at the same time. She reminded us that being a Christian didn't mean pretending life was perfect. It meant holding on to hope, even when tears fall. Her voice, gentle, wise, and full of compassion, has been one of the most powerful tools of healing in the Gaither legacy. There's something deeply human about watching our heroes go through suffering. It's not something we want to see, but it teaches us something we can't learn from their songs alone. Gloria's current journey, and Bill's unwavering love beside her, have become more than a news story. They've become a real-life testimony. They show us that faith isn't just for the good times. It's for the painful times too. The way the Gaithers are walking through this chapter slowly, honestly, and faithfully is a lesson in grace. They're not pretending to have all the answers. They're not hiding from the pain. Instead, they're facing it with prayer, community, and deep trust in God's plan. Even when it doesn't make sense. Many people have commented that their story feels like a mirror. It reminds them of their own loved ones who are sick, or their own quiet battles with loss, fear, or uncertainty. And just like the Gaithers have always done, they're showing people how to keep singing even when the song is slow and full of tears. That kind of faith is rare, and it's what makes their legacy unforgettable. As Bill and Gloria Gaither step away from touring and public events, it's clear that their legacy is far from over. If anything, it's entering a new phase, one marked not by the sound of applause, but by the quiet strength of lives forever changed. Their music will continue to echo in churches and homes. Their videos will still inspire worship in future generations. But most importantly, their story will remain a powerful example of a life lived with purpose, love, and faith. This season, though filled with sorrow, is also filled with gratitude. Fans everywhere are not just mourning, they're celebrating. They're remembering how a song helped them through grief, how a lyric reminded them to believe again, how seeing Bill hold Gloria's hand gave them hope for their own marriage. Every story, every memory, is part of the greater legacy the Gaithers have built, not just in music, but in ministry, faith, and enduring love. The future is uncertain, but one thing is sure: Bill and Gloria Gaither will always be remembered not just for what they did, but for who they are: servants of God, full of love, who gave everything they had to share the gospel through the power of song and story.